Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. Happy Tuesday. Hope you are well. We're so happy that we could spend some time with you and kind of start your day together. Today, we have another great conversation for you on YWTV, which is really all about educating you and inspiring you about things that are happening in our community. And today we have one of my favorite types of shows because it showcases young people in our community. And I am always especially grateful to talk with young people and hear about the tremendous work that they're doing. And I love to support their passion and to share positive information. Because I believe that it's great for all of us to know. And it's also wonderful for those of us watching, because as we know, Facebook probably is not the demographic for these young people, but it's great for us to be able to show this to some of the young people in our life so that they can learn about the program and also learn how they can have an idea and that they can create something really impactful with it. That age has nothing to do, with making an impact. So let's jump right in to talking to my guest today. Studies show that peer-to-peer support often helps teens struggling with emotional and health-related issues much better than any other way to attack that. We know that peers can really relate to each other, relate to their needs. And as a result, it really is, one of the most impactful ways to be able to help our young people. And so with that today, we have Catherine Osario and Kelly Herrera. They are both students at County Prep High School in Jersey City, and they are founders of an organization called Health by Teenagers, and they are both seniors at their school. So Health by Teenagers is a youth-run organization, and its focus is to educate and advocate on health-related topics, giving youth a voice in bringing health awareness to the public. Their organization was started so that students could gain access to not only working on their own leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills, but also to educate themselves on vital areas of healthcare. Did you know that more than 34 million Americans have diabetes? That is 1 in 10 people. So to aid in conquering this disease, Health by Teenagers created an entire platform that empowers youth to inform others about preventable diseases like diabetes. They are an inclusive organization, and they encourage everyone to join them in their awareness efforts. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Catherine and Kelly to our show today.
Thank you for having us here.
I am so grateful you guys could make the time. I know how busy you are. I have to say, what we've learned is young people are have such full schedules. So we are grateful that you could make the time to join us and share about this tremendous program that the two of you have created. So for our viewers, we were introduced and met Catherine and Kelly this summer because they helped support one of our new initiatives, which was our SAS Girls Summer Camp. And they helped to facilitate our icebreakers, helped to set up and work with our campers one-on-one. And they were, very, very impactful in terms of supporting our young people of our new effort. So it was wonderful to meet you. We're so grateful and thankful for the time you spent with us in our new program this summer. You really helped make it, really helped strengthen it and make it a great experience for all that participated.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I really enjoyed it. Being able to empower young girls to get learn about STEM in a way by just like learning about their environment, and it was really nice. I really enjoyed it.
That's wonderful. And it was that the first time you guys did something like that with your through your program?
Well, for me, it was. It was like the first time I ever kind of like did camp counseling, I guess. It was really interesting. It was kind of like tedious at times, but it's like the girls were amazing.
Hmm.
And just being able to be kind of like an influence on them, like be
Hmm.
someone that they could look up to. It was really nice to like help them out and to like share my experience with several things, like including social media, which I really enjoyed that discussion, talking about like how social media can play effect on people's mental health and their body image and all that. So it was really nice to like talk to young girls about how they should care about themselves and their body image and like they should love who they are and that not everything on social media is real.
Hmm.
And also like having being able to have like those discussions I thought was really important, and also like being able to learn how to be an advocate for your environment, to like take care of it. That was all really good things that I enjoyed about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we definitely try to incorporate some of the structures that we've seen there into our own program. So we created a sort of project for our members for them to go out, run so that they could help their own bodies, but also pick up litter for the environment. And we also gave some webinars on the environment, on factors that affect the environment. And we really try to educate our members, but not only educate, also allow them to have a platform to do something physical for whatever it is. So if it's a disease, we'll try to do some advocating ways like flyers, or and for the environment, it was the project which helped them collect trash and also post posters around their neighborhood informing people of climate change.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, you've already kind of opened the door into discussion. So let's talk about it. Um, you are both seniors in high school. Um, when and what inspired you to start Health by Teenagers?
All right, so we really thought about health by teenagers for a while. It took us like 2 years to plan it out. I remember, I think it was like a freshman or sophomore year. It was just like we were like thinking we want to make something to help advocate on like certain diseases and to bring awareness, but we didn't really know how to. We tried, but it wasn't as, I guess, like
Successful.
successful. It would be just like us two posting things and nobody would really get attention. But then we figured out a way, like during quarantine, we thought about it even more. So we were like, okay, this is our time now. We got to start something. We have to do something. And we saw that there was a lot of people that were advocating. We wanted to be part of that. We wanted to help people learn more about different types of preventable diseases, and also because of the pandemic, to take care of themselves, their mental health, which was a really big topic that we discussed a lot. So we were like, we have to do it. So, after witnessing how advocating for healthcare can make an impact during the pandemic, Health by Teenagers was founded on April 2021. And despite its young age, we've been able to offer our youth and also our 500 followers a lot of opportunities. So it's kind of like amazing to see how many people are now like involved. And another thing I have to say about that is like how when we started, we really didn't know what was like what was gonna come ahead of us, but like we're happy that everything is working out and we're able to like make a difference. Honestly.
Yeah, I would say that the pandemic is a huge inspiration for us because before everything had its own structure, but then the pandemic allowed us to take a step further, think outside the box, and think how can we give teenagers and youth a chance to advocate, and how can we start that initiative? So we thought of doing a Google Classroom, we thought of emailing people in our school, and and along with the mental health and the vaccines, with people not really having enough information to make a decision about vaccines and other issues like that. We wanted to give people a chance to be more informed in their health, because health is everything. So, and especially on necessary things like vaccines, and also childhood preventable diseases like drownings, poisonings, and so on. So, we try to incorporate useful information for daily life in general. So, we lower the risk factors of diseases and illnesses or any sort of preventable injuries that can be caused in our community.
Yeah, and what I love about this is, and I think that this is the really like uniqueness of this time that we've just been through, is that we know that this was really traumatic for everybody, but it hit every age and every stage a little bit differently, how the trauma, manifested itself. And I think what's wonderful is that you didn't allow your elders to kind of prescribe, what you needed, that you all, kind of kept a pulse on it because you lived it, you knew, you saw it around you, and then you mobilized. And, that I think is, really, wonderfully responsive of you. And so, not surprising that, you ended up getting such a following, because, they were hearing from their own, your age mates, and that really makes an impact, because, you feel like the information is really, for you. So I really am very impressed, that you were able to kind of, respond to what you were feeling and then think about how to organize others. So now I always think about these conversations, especially when I'm talking to young people, that maybe other young people will be watching this and it will help inspire them, because, so many of us over our lives have had ideas about how something could be done, but everybody doesn't act on it, right? That doesn't happen for everyone. So a couple questions. One is, were the two of you friends? I mean, I know it sounds like you had like thought about this earlier and kind of like started and stopped. How did you two do this together? Like, what, was it through conversations? Were you guys friends? Was it a class project? What connected the two of you that made you start this effort?
Well,
We've actually, you can go.
No, you can go.
We've actually met in middle school, and ever since middle school, we've sort of both been very ambitious, and we've been close friends. So we've just conversated about it a lot of times. We both talked like, oh, I really want to make an impact. I really want to start something. And then we would exchange ideas. And that first took into place in like around freshman or sophomore year. And we made a social media account where we can sort of advocate on health diseases, but that didn't really work out as well as Health by Teenagers because we didn't have a solid plan formed yet. So, like, I guess through conversation and through just friendship in general, we sort of combined our ideas, and we would be passionately talking back and forth, like, oh, we want to do this and this and this. And then it just formed one day when we realized that we did have an opportunity and we did have a chance in order to initiate something. And I think also not initiating something that you really like, an idea, is very common. And for anyone who's listening who's in a young teenager or a young adult, I would strongly advise, if you're passionate about something or if you have an idea that you think that will work, start it. It's not as challenging as we thought it would be. There is a lot of work, but there's a lot less restrictions than we thought. And honestly, the sky is the limit. So
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kelly. It did happen because of like she has been a really close friend of mine for a very long time, and I just remember we would talk about this quite often. Like I would be like, okay, I want to start a company or I want to start an organization, and it would just be jokes at times. And we would start picking names, and it would be like, oh, let's combine this word and this word, or let's do this and that, and we would just have discussions about it on the bus, like on our rides home, because we go to like Jersey City, but we live in North Bergen. So it's kind of a long ride. So while we were on the bus, we would discuss about it. We'd be like, okay, let's do it. Like, what if we start an organization? We do it for like teenagers, or we talk about health, or we do like motivation quotes or something, but have something to make an impact and make someone like learn, educate themselves, and also feel better. Like have a little bit of positivity in their life or get well informed on important topics. So I guess like after a lot of discussion, a lot of talking about it, we took that one night. I think we were in call and we were like, let's make a website. Let's go and email the school. Let's do this. Like let's actually give it a shot. And to our surprise, we did like everything in one night. We're like, okay, let's make a website, let's make the Google Classroom, let's go send out an email to everybody that we know, to the entire school. And then we also were like, okay, let's also make flyers, let's make an Instagram post about it, let's give like people the Google Classroom. And over that night, we gained like 80 people following the Google Classroom. We were like, wait, that this actually didn't go bad. Like, it actually happened. But it really has to do with like not being not letting yourself not limiting yourself. Because at first you think that, oh, you can't do it. You can't get there. But you have to really say, yes, you can do it, and you have to try. You have to, like, if you want it, you're gonna go for it, and you're not gonna give up on it. So although, as Kelly said, like the first time it wasn't like that successful, we were like, no, we're not giving up. We're gonna continue and we're gonna do it. So like it was really nice being able to like have Kelly especially help me out with this, and like she helps me a lot, and like we were able to work together to help other people learn more about diseases and about ways so that they could be healthier and have a healthier lifestyle.
Well, you guys just said a mouthful of inspiration between the two of you, and I'm really grateful that you shared your process, because I do think that really does help it seem attainable for others that might be contemplating something. And you also are describing a process that so many of the entrepreneurs that we work with at the YWCA, when they want to start a business, go through, that they kind of like started slow, kind of started and stopped, petered out, then kind of like re-engaged, better planning, more resources, found a partner, and they took off. So it's great to hear your process. So thank you for sharing it. So tell us like, what are the services that your organization provides, and who is your target? Who is it that you serve?
Well, we serve almost anybody. Anybody can get information about their health. It's like for anybody. We do have a platform on Instagram, so we have a lot of like youth on there. We also have a website that we made, and we have like specific things that we work on. One of the most important things that we do is that we have a vlog, and in the vlog we talk about health related topics. Our first one was about mental health, where we talked what is mental health, like what things can you do for like your mental health, how can you improve your mental health, resources that there is, organizations that work with mental health, and just giving a bunch of information and having like people read it. And we had people research. Some of the kids would research, some of the kids would edit, some of them would write, and then we will all combine it all together. We will make the newsletter, and then we will post it and publish it. So everybody was kind of working and contributing so that we can all inform together. um Also, most of these kids, they're from Hudson County. We have a lot from Hudson County: Jersey City, Kearney, Gothenburg, West New York, Union City, North Bergen, Harrison, and many other places around New Jersey, which is really nice. And we also have some people that we posted on TikTok and they saw it and they were like, "Oh, that's cool." And we have some people like from Rhode Island, I think, and Texas.
I think New York too.
New York too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was really nice how it got to get like be spread. We have like the vlog we posted on our website. We also like kind of share little descriptions on our Instagram. We make a lot of health related posts. So like one of our recent ones was about sunscreen, and we talked about why is sunscreen important, why you should wear sunscreen. We also have a lot of advocating for various different types of diseases. We had one for Alzheimer's, and we had like webinars where we would talk about these topics. And in the webinars, we will discuss what is Alzheimer's, what can we do to like advocate about it. And as we're doing this, we are also like kind of giving them little quizzes so that they could like kind of like learn all this information and retain it, so that they kind of learn as we're going, and they could also make a difference. We will make a lot of like little ribbons to advocate. And that Instagram post that they were showing right now about the letters for the elderly, we worked with a nonprofit organization to like send letters for elderly, especially because of like the pandemic. We know that mental health affects a lot of like it's really important, and we wanted to be able to like help elderly so that they could feel like they have people that care about them. So we made letters. We were able to like send them out to Florida and New Jersey. So it was very nice to be able to like work with that too. That was one of the things we did. Kelly, do you have anything?
Yes. So our members are mostly youth people, but of course anyone can join. And our main demographic is youth. However, even though our main demographic for our members is youth, we try to incorporate a lot of activities that lets youth talk to their family and especially older people. So, for example, for a vaccine video, we made people share a video on vaccines, and for flyers, we make people share their flyers to friends and family, and we try to get as much people to share information so that not only they're learning themselves, but they're also spreading information to people who might need it. So for Alzheimer's and for mental health, our blog is very very wide in its demographic, so anyone can see it. We wrote a lot of information on different topics, so we try to make our information as universal as possible. And we also do that for our other blogs, like climate change. Climate change, even though like on the surface it looks very like it's just about trees and it's just about carbon in the air, but in reality it affects everyone and affects especially POC. It affects a lot of racial injustice that happens, which might not originally be thought of. So I would say that Health by Teenagers, even though it's by teenagers, it's for everyone.
Yeah. Well, so we had like alcohol abuse awareness webinar where we talked about alcohol abuse. It was I think our first webinar, which was really cool, and we made people make little ribbons and support to just show that we support people and that we can all together make a difference just by making something to show your support or like by advocating. Another thing I know is that for our vlogs, I try to work on making them in Spanish as well, and I will actually tell my mom like, hey, post this on your Facebook, and she will, and like her friends will look at it, and I make it in Spanish specifically because most of her friends are Hispanic and they speak Spanish. So I'm like, okay, so post it, and then she does, and then people look at it and they like it, and it's really nice. I'm just like, we're not limited, and we want to open our opportunities so it's not just one. It's not just for English speakers. It can also be for people that speak Spanish, and hopefully more languages as well in the future, so that it can be for like everybody, that everybody can get that information and learn more about health and different types of diseases that we sometimes just like don't really think about it, and when we do it's just a Google search, and sometimes the information can be inaccurate, and so we try our best to find the accurate information and to give people the important information that they need, as well as advocating and bringing awareness and telling people, oh, look at this, like um, so that they can become interested in these several like different topics that there are. Um, I think that
Yeah, I love how you've really thought through how to be inclusive and how to keep broadening your base of who you're projecting your information to. And I really appreciate how you not only share information with your target population that you're in your service population you're working with, but then you're creating and making them agents as well, and having them kind of have that ripple effect and that domino effect of pushing it out too. That's really definitely when we think about impact, that exponentially increases.
yeah, I have one more thing I was going to mention. A place to rant. So we have something called a place to rant, which is part of our website. It has like its own little separate Instagram. It was inspired by the need of supporting mental health during the pandemic. We created a space where anybody is free to talk about what's going on. We like they could like basically they could rant, and it doesn't only have to be about the effects of the pandemic, but it could be about anything that they want. But it's just a little platform so that they can speak about their feelings, and especially for teens, sometimes they don't want to, it's kind of hard to express themselves, especially because they're trying to figure out who they are. So having this little place to rant, it's like a little opportunity for them to like talk about whatever they want. And we were even able to help people who were being affected by the conflict that was occurring in Palestine during
Mm.
that time, which was also really nice. Um, just we just let them speak what they needed to speak, and we would look for advice. We had people talk about how sometimes school is really stressful and like taking exams and what should we do, and we will be like, okay, let's go research, find information on what to do when you're stressed, and then we will provide that information for them. So those are some things that was really cool. One of our accomplishments that we have done with Help by Teenagers as well.
And I'd like to say that there's sort of a duality in a place to rant. So anyone can direct message us, just text us their problems. We're sort of strangers. They don't really know us. So they have the liberty to say anything that they want. So they don't have to feel like they're being judged. And we try to make it a judge free zone as much as possible. As well as the website. The website is a lot more anonymous. So if you really don't want to be known and if you want to get out something very important to you and that you can't really find yourself opening up to anyone else, but you do want to talk about it because talking about it is super important and it is one of the main factors that helps us move on from any sort of things that's holding us back or anything that was painful to us. So in the website there we provide an anonymous service and then anyone it's very convenient for us to be direct messages. So there, I think here in the post you can see it's tagged that our Instagram, which is sort of a branch of Health by Teenagers.
That's amazing. So, I know you are seniors in high school, so obviously you're kind of getting ready for transitioning to that kind of next phase of your lives. How has this experience helped shape, what you're thinking about for yourselves and your future?
I think it impacted my future a lot because even though if I had a little bit of exposure to this already, I feel like I love advocating to people. I love giving presentations, saying things that are super important, especially in the healthcare. And I love just informing people in general and also creating, as you said, a ripple effect. So to make the world an easier, a more convenient place so that, for example, like I said before, alcohol abuse, we did a webinar and awareness ribbons, and we try to give as much advice to people on what to do when they have a close member that is going through that, or for childhood preventable diseases. We try to limit, again, a lot of information that we give is very accessible and it's very convenient for daily life. So, for example, something that you should do is watch out for drownings, poisonings, and burns. There's a chemical that you shouldn't put on a burn. A lot of people think that putting butter on burns is good, but in reality, that fries the skin further. Or, for example, you shouldn't put lemon on a burn because the acidity interacts with the skin. So information like that is very important in our lives, and a lot of people don't know how to deal with something, and it can happen to anyone. So we try to give access to that information.
That's great.
Yeah, I really do think it has like impacted like my future. Like one thing I know is that I really like sharing information. I enjoy advocating and I want to be able to help people. So I'm happy that like through Help by Teenagers, I was able to like kind of take the a step forward and say I want to do this, and it just motivates me to like I really want to get into healthcare. I really want to help people. I really want to advocate. I really want to share information so that people can become more informed. And I have learned on the way too, like as Kelly says, like there's things that just happen in everyday life and we don't really think about, like, oh, if someone gets burnt, like let me just put like a butter, maybe it's going to help, and then they realize, oh no, that doesn't help at all. But or if you get a cut, what should you do? Or we're talking about like the climate and how like we don't really realize that it's a people's problem. Like it's climate change is a people's problem. It's not just about like the environment itself, but it's a problem for us. People can get a lot of heat strokes. Wait, heat yeah, so you get heat strokes by it. It's there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and people don't realize that it can affect so many people. because of the like a lot of flooding that we have seen. Even in New Jersey, there has been a lot of flooding. There's a lot of bacteria that is there, and that people like they decide, oh, let me just go into the water sometimes. And like you have to really realize that you have to take care of yourself. And advocating for things like different types of cancers, it's just a way to like make everybody feel more united, like all together. So I really like that feeling, and I hope to like use it in the long run, like be able to keep on working with Health by Teenagers, make it something bigger, make it something where more people can get involved, have chapters, have more students become involved, like have different people, different clubs, and that it doesn't ever stop, but like it keeps on going, and there's more new members, and there's more people, there's more directors, there's more like a nice family in a way that is able to like share information and to like talk about health.
Well, clearly you're thinking about the legacy
Yes.
that you're planning on leaving with this work that you're doing. And it's, it's, I'm not surprised that it's helped shape, your thoughts for your future. And there's no doubt that the experiences that you've had in terms of launching it and relaunching it and, strengthening it, will all come into play, as you embrace the next chapter of your life. And there's no doubt that there's many more ideas in both of your minds to launch, from here that are either connected to this or separate from this for sure. So I'm so grateful again that you could take the time to talk with us today. For our viewers, you all should be just like the group that they work with. Be part of getting the message out. You watch this broadcast, now share it with somebody in your life, especially young people in your life, so that they, one, can get connected to this great organization. Two, hopefully inspire them to think about what are some of the values and ideas that they have and ways that they can launch and make an impact with them as well. So, we hope that you have taken something away from this broadcast. You yourself and the young people in your life can learn more about this wonderful organization by clicking the link that's in the comments. So obviously, as we've been talking today, we've been putting the websites and the social media platforms where you could connect with Health by Teenagers. So we look forward to hearing how you progress. And I know we will be hearing more and more from each of you collectively, individually, and the impact that you're going to be having, on our communities and more so. So thank you so much for helping out with our SAS camp and having an impact on our young women that participated there. And thank you for the great work that you're doing in the community.
Thank you for having us here. It's an amazing opportunity, and yeah, thank you for giving us a little way to to spread the word more.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I think it's super cool.
Well, I'm so glad. I like being that our platform is being thought of as super cool. So we love that. And again, we just hope that everyone watching takes the time to learn more about the great work you're doing. And again, share it with the young people in your life so that they can get connected and be part of this wonderful ripple effect that Catherine and Kelly have created. And with that, there's plenty more YWTV for you to engage with us throughout this week. So stay tuned. And also, I want to make sure that you mark your calendars that this week on Wednesday night, we have a important conversation that we'll be having about Black women's mental health. And it's a free webinar that you can sign on for. And so please, the link to register is in the comments. And we encourage you to do that. And we hope you can join us for our remaining YWTV episodes this week. We will be speaking to Dr. Christine Thorpe and Heather LeClaire, both who are instrumental in helping put together our event tomorrow night for Black women's mental health. And Thursday, mark your calendars, we'll have Lori Sackler on. She's the president and founder of Bergen Indivisible for Democracy. And we're going to talk about their upcoming program about Protect the Vote. And we hope that you join us for that as well. Everyone have a great day. And, please take away some great inspiration from Catherine and Kelly. I know that I have some of their sound bites in my head that I'm definitely going to carry with me. You're both a tremendous inspiration, and thank you again. Bye, everyone. Be well.